and I'm certain that Laura will be overjoyed to see you again." "Delighted. I'll try for next week, David, old man." The appointment with his brother-in-law lasted longer than David had expected, and listening to what he thought was legal gibberish left him thoroughly exhausted. At best, he was lucky if he could understand 50% of what the lawyer said. After what seemed an eternity, the church bells chimed 2:00. The business meeting concluded, and he was looking forward to the hour's ride home. David stepped out of the law offices to find his coachman, Robert, waiting with the carriage. They set off without delay. But as the carriage approached London Bridge, the horse threw a shoe, sending Robert into a state of anxiety bordering on panic. "Sorry, sir, but we'll have to take Nell to a blacksmith and have him fix her shoe." "Have you any idea how long that will take?" the major asked. "No more than an hour, sir, if the smithy isn't busy. Perhaps I can get you another carriage to take you home." "Don't worry about it, Robert. Tell me, would you know if there's a tavern nearby where I can get some food and ale?" "Yes, sir. There's one just up the way called the Old Cock Pheasant. But, Major, sir, it isn't the kind of place that a gentleman would frequent." Ignoring Robert's warning, David informed him that he wanted to stretch his legs a little and get some fresh air. Reaching into a box beneath the driver's seat, Robert pulled out a pistol and offered it to the major, explaining that the neighborhood was full of undesirable and unscrupulous people. "I don't think I'll require that, Robert. Just pick me up at the Old Cock Pheasant when you are finished." As David made his way through the crowded street and walked toward the River Thames, he was forced to veer first right, then left, to miss the muddier sections and to avoid collisions with the horse carts and hand barrows hurrying along the busy street. Suddenly, he realized that for the first time in his life, he was afoot on the mean streets of London near the Thames. After a short walk, he came upon the Old Cock Pheasant Inn and was delighted to discover an establishment far more pleasant and comfortable than Robert had described. Seating himself at a table, he called to the landlord his order of ale, bread, and cheese. An hour passed with no sign of Robert. Assuming there must have been complications at the blacksmith's, David asked the innkeeper to inform his coachman that he had taken a stroll and to wait at the tavern until he returned. David set out once again to explore the busy back streets of the city near the river. He was horrified by the appalling appearance of some of the local inhabitants. Suddenly, he felt something tugging at his jacket sleeve. Looking down, he saw a little girl with a magnificent head of shiny blonde hair that surrounded and enhanced her bright blue eyes. The rest of her appearance, however, was not nearly so appealing. Her frock, which seemed to have been made for a much larger child, hung down to her ankles. It was clean, but showed years of wear. The colors had faded to a motley brown, and her mud-spattered shoes were worn beyond repair. In a gentle voice, she asked the major, "Sir, would you like to buy my beautiful brass candlestick? Only a penny halfpenny." Before he could answer, someone grabbed the child's arm. It was Robert. "Away with you, you young gutter snipe! Away with you, or I'll give you the back of my hand." Robert turned to the major. "Don't trust her, sir. She probably stole it. They're all the same in this neighborhood. I tell you, sir, you have to be careful around these parts." Pulling herself up to her full height, the child challenged Robert. "You have no right to say such a thing. I didn't steal the candlestick. I am an honest girl, I am. My mother always told me to be honest, and you have no right to accuse me of stealing. I found it on the mud flats, and it took me 2 whole days to get it so shiny." With these words, she proceeded to polish the candlestick on her dress. Looking at the poor little soul, David felt in his heart that the child was telling the truth. Reaching into his pocket, he handed her 2 pennies. The sight of the money made her eyes light up like blue candles. "Thank you, sir, thank you, but all I have is a farthing."